Welcome back to the Red Stool. And today we're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but more so Captain America's legacy and how it pertains to the entire show. So, of course, we have to ask ourselves exactly what is Captain America's legacy? And, it's more than just the vibranium shield, the helmet with the A on it, and the fancy costume. There's a lot more to it than just that. It's everything that he stood for. If we look at the first Avenger and we see how willing he is to sacrifice himself for the greater good, always do the right thing, and even more so when he was just in a position to be a pawn to sell war bonds, he figured out a way to move past that and actually have an impact. So it also starts with him just taking that agency, just not accepting whatever the status quo is or no for an answer. If, he has a goal or there's something that he needs to do, he's going to go do it. It doesn't matter if he's not big enough to join the army. He found a way. It doesn't matter if they just want him to dance on stage and fake knock out Hitler. He found a way to actually get his feet on the ground during the war, save his friends, and make an impact. So, so that's what it starts with. Just that taking agency and standing up for the right thing, no matter what. Then, of course, in Civil War, him finding out that Hydra is secretly running most of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they've spread out, they're widespread across the world, and he didn't defeat Hydra all those years ago when he took down the Red Skull. So once he finds out this, and now it gave him that disillusionment towards governments and systems, because he can see how plainly and easily they can be manipulated, and how he was forced to be a pawn, and what they were able to do to Bucky, how they were able to make him their pawn, be their silent assassin, and just all the little strings that you don't see in the background being pulled. And then those ideals are more flushed out in Civil War, where you see the Sokovia Accords. They come about, and he's definitely against them. He doesn't trust governments or systems because of all of his past experiences with them. They can be corrupted or used, and he knows that he himself he's not a pawn. He's like, what? I trust myself, and I know that there's a handful of other people that I can trust as well, and that's what and that's what I'm going to go off of. I'm not going to, it seems a little bit self-righteous, like, oh yeah, I'm always right, I know what I'm doing, but I feel as though it's more so, I know that I'm not going to go out into the world with any malintent. I know that I'm always going to have what's right at heart, and I'm not just going to be following orders or systems. It's about time that I follow myself, I follow my gut, and I follow my instincts as to what's right. And I say all that to say, with them, just taking the shield and passing it down to John Walker and, crowning him the new Captain America for the world, I feel like that is it's definitely against everything that, he held the shield for and what he stood for as an Avenger, just because we saw he handed it down to Falcon because he trusted him. He knew that he has a good heart. He'll always keep doing what's right in mind. He's not just going to be motivated by monetary gains or, being some great egotistical hero. He's just going to do what's right because it's right. And to have all of that bypass and have the government just hand the shield down to this guy that they picked, that, what, we need to start rebuilding the Avengers or whatever. Let's take some agency and let's put a new Captain America out there, a new symbol. Yeah, like this is what we need in the world. And it's kind of seeming like, they're wheeling out kind of like the drawing of Captain America on the unicycle, like a monkey on a unicycle. They're wheeling John out there for the public and for everybody to be used as a tool. And that's it. This is where the issue becomes. Now, I understand why Falcon, he gave up the shield. It was too much weight for him at the time. He just came back from the blip and he's trying to get his life together. That's 5 years of his life that he lost. On top of whatever family issues that he was already having, he had that. So to just have people thinking that you're dead for 5 years and then you show back up, that's going to be a huge strain on any family. But now, he's trying to rebuild that and retake agency over his life and adjust to this new world, because a lot has changed in this 5 years. And so I understand why he gave the shield up. He was trusting that, hey, Captain, we're just going to lay the mantle down. There doesn't need to be a new Captain America right now. That's not the direction that the country should go in. And of course, they probably didn't tell him that, oh yeah, we've got a candidate for the next new Captain America. But, they were probably like, great, he's retiring the shield, so now we can go ahead and move on. And we have our plans, we're going to move on. Thanks, Sam. You did the right thing. But, of course, systems, agencies, and governments, they have their agendas and they're going to follow them. And that's where, John comes in. And, of course, it's like when they wheel him out and they're like, say hello, to the new Captain America. And it's just like, what? Who? Like who picked him? Like where he from? Like, I'm gonna need more. Like, I'm gonna need more than just some little high school locker room story with some girl and some other dude. Like, that's not enough backstory for me. Like what's this? I don't know, yo. That's y'all Captain America. Nah. But once. But once I was able to get over that a little bit, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Just calm down. Kind of look at it objectively for a second, and understand that if the government is basically using the mantle of Captain America as, a tool and a symbol, then that must mean that John, in and of himself, is a pawn to an extent, and as they go into it, of course, this is a big weight for him to take on too. It's just, oh yeah, I'm Captain America now. In my opinion, best hero in the MCU, best Avenger, Captain America, first Avenger, all that. But, he has to take up this mantle, and now he's looking at it himself like, oh man, how do you live up to Captain America's standard? How? And now he's trying to figure this out. And I feel like that pressure is going to be the big defining part of his story. Like, that pressure that he's going to be put under to be Captain America, to give that reassurance, to go fight the bad guy and win. That's going to show us who he really is and like what he really does and how he responds to it. We get to see a little bit of what he can do when they're fighting with the super soldiers on the truck. And, he's got some good basic moves with the shield and whatnot. But also, of course, I know it's probably a big note for everyone how he does pull out the gun and he does shoot. And, he does use the gun. Now, I won't say that, Captain America would never use a gun, because he did. But also, it kind of just shows that, to a degree, he's a bit outclassed when it comes to dealing with these new super soldiers. So I feel like what definitely could end up happening with him is he may feel as though the pressure to take that super soldier serum himself, because, if you can't beat him, you got to join him. And you know what? Captain America was a super soldier. I'm Captain America now. I got to live up to the legacy and fill the shoes. I need that serum too. It's only fair. And, you could say that, but just as the way the episode ended, when he's talking to Sam and Bucky and they're talking about teaming up together, and they're like, you know what? You got a lot of strings attached to you. We don't. It's probably not the smartest thing for us to work together. And he's just like, all right, fine. Well, you better stay out of my way. And just there, I can see like, okay, he's starting to feel the pressure a little bit. I'm not going to say he's cracking, but he's having somewhat of a hard time adjusting to it, as I can see. And that might turn towards him being somewhat aggressive. And we could see them having a more heated conflict. It could lead to fighting in the future. That's definitely just something to watch and keep your eye out on. Just his story arc and how he deals with the pressure of being Captain America. Will it break him, or, will he rise to the occasion? I at the moment, I kind of don't want to personally believe this, because I do believe the shield should go to Sam, but he could rise to the occasion and prove us all kind of wrong. Like, hey, I was the right guy to pick to be the next Captain America, but I'm not keeping my hopes up for that. And I more than likely think that he's going to lean to becoming a super soldier just so he could deal with the pressures of carrying the shield and also the new threats that are out here in the world. Also, it would be interesting if he actually got somewhat of the original serum that Captain America got, just because one of the quirks of that particular serum was it amplified whatever was inside of you. So, if you were a good man, it would make you great. But if you're an evil man, it would make you worse. And, you saw that with the Red Skull, how his face deformed and, he had the skull. So that, that would be the easiest way and a great callback to just, the original serum if he was able to get that original one and we saw what it brought out of him. That would be good. In my opinion, that would be some good writing, good storytelling. But I definitely think that this is just the adjustment period. And Sam, he needs to get his life in order. And, he can't be a good Captain America and, try to be a good family man, try to be a good brother, a good uncle. He has to start somewhere. So he needs to once he's able to get his life in order, then he'll be able to move forward. And I feel like him carrying that shield, it would feel a lot less heavy. And of course, there's Bucky and his path to redemption. So he feels as though if Steve didn't, was wrong about picking Sam to be his successor for the next Captain America, then everything he said about him must be wrong too. And that ties all into, everything that he went through as the Winter Soldier. And now that he's able to, have control over his own body and not just be some, assassin that's just sent to kill. But he has to still live with that though. He wakes up with it, he's dealing with it, but that's just how he's carrying it, because he feels as though, okay, well, if he was wrong about Sam, then he's definitely wrong about me, and I'm everything that everybody thinks that I am. Because of course, he's gonna get these looks like, oh, he used to be a Hydra assassin, he's a bad guy, but we're giving him a ride and we're washing under the, we're just gonna scoot it under the rug. And how can he possibly go on living his life that way? So we definitely need to see recollections of all these story arcs. So, heavy is the hand that, carries the shield, but who's best suited for it? Looking forward to tomorrow's episode. Also, just as in how everything's going to play out. I'm liking the story. It's got has a good pacing to it. There's, the action, the comedy. I'm enjoying all of it. And, at the end of the series, at the end of the season, hopefully we get a little more clarification on who should carry the shield. And, looking forward to that. And it's been a good 2 episodes so far. But more so, I think this, it just opens up a big conversation, I guess, for us to have, as fans, just as to who deserves the shield. Should it be Sam? Should it be John? Is it Bucky? I've even heard some arguments for Agent 13 to be the one who picks up the mantle. So there's a lot here, and I feel like I enjoyed how they left us, a lot to talk about. And, it just helps us grow, as a fandom and community, just being able to have these discussions and having the stories, with the nuance to be able to show like somewhat of a gray area as to who should the shield rightfully go to. And just let me know what you guys think in the comments, and what are your predictions for the series? Are you enjoying it? And let me know. I'll see y'all in the comments. Peace.